update. I will be your substitute Joe for today. My name is Amy Dallen, and I am so excited to be doing this. Hey, Mellie, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm very excited. I love Joe, but I also love a substitute Joe, and Amy seems like an extremely good substitute Joe. So this is a pretty good Bib update.
I gotta work on my jokes. Gotta get on that level. But until then, welcome to D&D Beyond's anniversary week. If you're joining us for the first time, we're so glad you're here. We think D&D is for absolutely everyone, and we hope you'll register for free on dndbeyond.com if you haven't done so already, to find out how easy we make it to jump in and start playing and rolling dice. We have a lot going on this week. It is our anniversary week. We are almost halfway through. We have a sale going on all this week on books and bundles that you should definitely jump on. And I believe, Mellie, you can also gift books. That's a thing that can happen.
You can, yeah, you can gift stuff, and that discount is also applied there. So if you want to treat your favorite DM or player in your life with a little something something, go ahead and head over to that marketplace and buy some gifts for your friends. You'll just get a code too, so you don't have to give it to them right away if you want to buy an early birthday present or Christmas gift.
That's a really good idea, actually. Sorry, I just made some plans in my head. But we also have giveaways running all this week. Mellie, how is the cool community stuff going?
Yeah, so we've got giveaways all week, including in our stream. So right now there's some giveaways happening. We're giving away some pigment pack dice sets all throughout chat today. So see the instructions that the mods give you in there. We also have giveaways happening all throughout the week. So Monday we had a giveaway over on our Facebook. Tuesday we had a giveaway on our forums. Today we've got a giveaway happening on Instagram. So you can head on over there if you are an artist or crafter or cosplayer of any kind. Go ahead and share the art that you've made of a character that you play. Shira, if you make dice, maybe show dice you made for a character, a cool dice bag, or a mini you painted. Share that, and then go and enter to win a marvelous pigments bundle, which has just an array of books and dice. And then as well, tomorrow we're going to have a challenge on Discord, and Friday a challenge on Twitter, and then also on Friday we're going to do legendary bundle draw for the entire week of challenge participants. So make sure you participate. It's going to be super fun. Hop over to Instagram for the latest details.
Heck yeah. So that's not all we're giving away this week. And I think I can say it now. We'll get into it in a second, but we might have some free dice coming out. But first, we're going to get into all that. We're going to talk all about dice. We're going to talk all about character sheets. We have some incredible guests. But later today, we also have the third of our benefit games happening here on D&D Beyond. And I am particularly excited about this one because this benefit game for Stack Up and Jasper's Game Day, happening at 2 o'clock Pacific today, is a level 1 meat grinder adventure run by our own Mellie Doucette.
Yeah. I'm extremely excited. It's going to have an incredible cast. We've got Brian Gray, Jasmine Boular, aka That Bronze Girl, Nura Ibrahim, Dale Kingsmill, and Omar Najam. It's going to be like an incredible group of people, and I'm going to torture them mercilessly, which is very exciting and new for me because I have killed a total of 2 player characters in my career as a dungeon master, and I still think about it with a lot of regret and pain and like, oh God. So I'm gonna try to let that go today and just really, really challenge them to some awful, horrible things and see how they succeed. It's gonna be pretty great. Or fail.
And please don't forget that if you are watching that, you can donate to those causes just because you want to, but you can also donate to redeem some rewards, which will either complicate or simplify Mellie's emotional dilemma. So please just do whatever you want in that department. I'm excited to see what happens. But today, we have a lot to actually talk about in this dev update. So we are digging into a key piece of the shared play space that we're working towards, the digital dice. Why do we have them? How do they work? Are they fair? Have questions. Are we giving away free dice today? Senior Product Manager Andrew Searles will be joining us for that. And then let's all open our character sheets because Pat and Julie are joining us for a guided tour and demos of upcoming features. So let's start with those dice. Can we please welcome Andrew in and unveil our free anniversary dice set? they're so pretty. They are available for free right now to all registered users at dndbeyond.com. So please make sure to sign up and get those. And welcome back to the stream, Andrew. How you doing?
Hi, how's it going? I'm glad to be here.
All right, so we have questions. How do our dice work?
How do they work? Okay,
How do
so
dice?
How do dice?
obviously on the character sheet, you push the button and a dice rolls across the screen. That much everybody knows. But I think the part that is confusing is, well, these are digital dice. So obviously you make a number in the background and then the die just happens to land on that. We call it a predestined roll. It's not that way, actually. In actuality, we use physics, an actual sort of physics engine in a 3D environment. So your dice that you roll physically, you roll it on a table, it might hit a few things and bounce off of them, and then that affects the number. And then you don't know the number until the dice actually land. With our dice, they do the exact same thing. They bounce around the character sheet, they hit off of the walls, and then they land on a number. And we don't know what that number is until it actually lands, and then we determine that number, and then we give it to you. It's one of the reasons why we have to wait until the dice have landed to be able to tell you what the number is instead of just like instantly. The cool thing about that is that it is an actually randomly generated number using the randomly generated aspects of your environment. So your screen size, the position of your mouse when you actually click it, the velocity will change. So all those are sort of variables that determine what the actual die will be.
Wait, the velocity will change?
Yeah. So
I can
some
roll
of the
my
sets
dice extra hard?
Well, some of the sets use a different velocity. For example, the blacksmith's dice, which are heavy metal, we've actually modified them slightly to feel like they are heavier when they roll. So that way, they don't just go bouncing across the screen. They actually just kind of, and they feel like a chunk of metal just landed on your screen.
So you're simulating the materials in that way. That's so neat. Sorry, Mellie, what's up?
What was the logic and decision making behind deciding between the way that we do it, which is this physics based roller, versus the way we see lots of dice rollers and random number generators work, which is just we pick a number and then we're going to display this dice and it's going to land on that number that we've already picked. How did that decision making process go?
Yeah, well, it started with knowing that we wanted to be able to see a die go across the sheet. And so then we kind of went back from there. But there are a lot of complicated, is this random, is this fair questions out there. And there's a lot of sort of debate about what if a number is generated on the server somewhere, is it really fair? There's math. You might think, oh, just coming up with a random number is easy. It's actually not. It's really not. In fact, if you were to look at those other systems, they have very complicated sort of the variation in light in a particle shot through a whatever to determine randomness. So we decided that we wanted to go with something that was a little bit more based off of reality and how the physical world works. And so that's what we have today.
And for my layman's question, figuring out how to do something random has been one of the great computer science problems for like decades, right? I'm sure it's been done quite well at this point, but like that was early on, that was a thing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually have even information and we actually have information. We collect every day, every roll, we collect information to make sure on a daily basis that our dice rolling is fair. And so
are they fair? Let's look at this.
I can attest, after monitoring this over a year, our dice are fair. It might not feel fair to you sometimes, but I could tell you they are fair. So what you're looking at here is essentially a 30-day period of the percentage of rolls of a D20. So I took D20 because that's the vast majority of rolls on D&D Beyond. And you can see, with a little bit of variation on a daily basis, but just about everything is exactly perfect all the way through. So we expect variation because that's just the nature of randomness. But theoretically, we should see clear lines all the way across, and that's exactly what we see. And for those real statisticians out there, you can go look up a test called the chi-squared test, which is a test that we use on a daily basis for all of our rolls to determine a sort of, is this fair or is this not fair? And that formula spits that out for us. So I'm not going to go into all the stats around chi-squared and all of that, but that's essentially you can go look up the formula.
Putting that down for a future dev update when I just infiltrate Joe completely. Now that we've determined they do look pretty fair. I like that chart very much. It doesn't rule out that individual dice might be particularly mad at you, which I think is an important part of the role-playing game experience. But overall, it looks like they're good. Yeah. Which ones do people like? Oh, it looks like I had a blip, so I'm not sure. I might have missed a comment from you there, Andrew.
Lined up. Oh, I was just saying that dice jail is a thing. So if you feel like a dice set is being bad to you, then put it right in jail.
I can attest that the Memento Mori dice that came with Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft hate me, personally. They do not roll above 10 very often. They roll a lot of ones. And then as soon as I switched to the Sanguine dice set, all of a sudden, I felt like I was rolling okay. So I believe in the magic of dice. But I do also think that this chart is very compelling. But I mean, I'm more of a, magic, and I don't really understand physics. I did not do well in science school, but I'll trust you.
Yeah.
So if you are playing favorites, I hear you have some cool information for us of which dice people actually like rolling the most.
Yeah, I got a 5, and I think we're going to start with number 5. The top 5 most popular dice. Number 5 is, before I go into this, actually, well, that one is the Cauldron set, number 5. We determined popularity by, you might, it was a sort of a complicated question because you're like, oh, what's the most popular? Well, is it the one that people own the most or have access to, or is it the one that you use the most? Is it the one they roll? Those are all different in our system and come up with a different. So what we've determined is what we call the enablement rate. So everybody can enable one set of dice right now. So the number of people that have enabled over the number of people that actually have access to it comes up with an enablement rate, right? So this is the dice sets that are the most popular, meaning that those that have access to it use it the most. So these numbers might not be what you think they are, because they are not always the most flashy ones.
Yeah, because I mean, if only
these are the
5
most popular.
people owned the, I was picking the Memento Mori set, for example, and all 5 used them, it would be the most popular one.
That's true. Although I can say that we've taken out outliers like that. So all of these dice sets have thousands of people that use them and have them active, available. So, okay, so the first one we've already released, this is the Cauldron dice set. This one, if you'll remember, is the dice set that was given away as a pre-order bonus for Tasha's Cauldron of Everything last year. This was, a simple, we call it a tier 1, but a simple set that it just looks beautiful. We actually ended up taking sort of the inspiration from opals, and how opals kind of form and look kind of magical and that kind of thing. So yeah,
Wait, I'm not crying that this is number 5. It's one of my favorite ones. I definitely use this set a lot.
Also, it's just because it's on my brain right now, but I feel like there are some people out there who need to know that there is an opalescent set of dice, just particularly out there in, let's say, pop culture at the moment.
Yeah. And it's probably particularly unfair to those that were not able to pre-order that book, and now they know, oh no, I missed it. Well, that is a lesson to you. Pre-order books. Also, it might not be the last time you see and are able to collect this dice set. So just keep that in mind. All right, number 4 is the Archmage's Favor, which is one of the dice sets that we put out early on, and is the story behind this dice set is that it was captured from a particularly powerful archmage, and it represents sort of unstable magic kind of banded together in these energy bands here. And for those that own this set and roll it, they'll know that it sounds magical. It has magical effects on the D20, and it even crumples when all the magic is spent out of it. So it's a cool set, and it is popular.
I think it's worth mentioning as well that dice are so popular in this moment as we talk about them, as we've just released that free dice set, that the My Dice page is currently experiencing some problems dealing with all the people who love dice so much. So just if you're watching and you're wondering, please be patient with us. We are working on the issue. We're aware of it. We are gonna get you to your dice soon.
Okay, number 3. Let's move along. Number 3. So we had talked about this one earlier. This is the Blacksmith's Dice Pack, which is currently available on the marketplace. You can buy any one of these. I think there are 10 of them. Or you can buy the whole pack for half the price of all of them together. And this is the set that actually we modified the velocity to make it feel like it's heavier when it's rolled. For example, the Damascus steel ones, which are my personal favorite, roll and go clunk, 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 and they even sound like metal too. It's pretty cool. The gold one is also like my sort of like closely second favorite in this set because it is so very gold.
Yeah, I like some of these too, like the ones that are sort of maybe like a more lighter metal. They do have, instead of like a clunk clunk, they have like a tink tink. And it really does sound like exactly the metal dice that I have when I roll them in my tray. So I very much appreciate these dice.
I have to say, as we all go through a long period of like not getting to Renfest anywhere, I might need to go pull these out just to be like, yes, clunky metal moving around. I miss it. So thank you in advance for filling that need.
Yeah, absolutely. The number 2 is the famous or infamous Mythic dice set. And this is our first dice set that we released outside of the default. As you can see here, this is one of those that has a lot of animations. It does a lot of cool bespoke things with it. It's got these sort of floating metal plates on top of this sort of inner galaxy, which was not easy to make, by the way. But it is definitely one of the more beautiful sets that I think we have. So it's
I love this one.
It's obvious why it is also available. You can go out there and buy that right now.
And this one, when you roll a 20, it has like a Medusa face that just like turns your dice to stone, which is so cool. And I love it. I'm a big fan of Medusa, so.
Yeah. If you're playing the Mythic Odysseys of Theros, this is sort of a must-have for your game because it will definitely sort of put you in that mood. Okay, so for number 1.
Are we ready? For number 1?
You want to guess? Do you want to guess what you think it might be?
I do want to guess. I'm gonna guess, and this is like, out of the number of people that own it, this percentage of people that actually use that set. It's not like all of them. Okay. Then
yeah, that's right. The enablement rate.
Memento Mori. No, Dice of Giving.
Okay. Amy, you want to give it a shot? Maybe it's your favorite set.
I'm gonna guess it's one of the standard, like the pigment pack, the standard color ones. I feel like there's just one that makes people the happiest.
Which color?
The blue.
Blue? Okay. Just so you know, my favorite dice set of all of them are actually the yellow one. This is the Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden dice set. And it is glittery goodness. It is actually what we based our anniversary dice set off of. And a lot of the sort of technology that goes into sort of creating the actual glitter. As you see, when it moves, it actually glitters. So it's not just a picture laid over the top of that model. It actually has glitter inside of it that catches the light at different angles. We worked really hard on this one when we initially released it. This dice set, by the way, is absolutely free as well. You can go to, there is a link. I don't have a way to give you the link, but maybe somebody in chat can link the link. You can go there, you click on a button, and you get that dice set for free. It is a digital dice set that we did in connection with the physical dice set, they look almost exactly the same. When the book came out about a year ago. And so this dice set is still out there for free. You can use it on your character sheet on D&D Beyond and buy the actual physical dice off of Amazon or wherever you buy D&D books and roll them together if you wanted to. There's no guarantee that they'll be the same number when you roll them together.
That would take some powerful magics. I expect you all to come up with that any second, though.
We have a couple of questions about dice. Do we have a moment to do some questions with you, Andrew?
Let's do.
Yeah.
I decided for you.
Excellent. So we have a few people asking this. So we got from Laura Majo. Will it be possible to enable multiple dice sets at the same time? Or we also have some people asking per character.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something we wanted to do from the very beginning, especially on the per character basis, because when I play, I have a specific dice set that is connected to a character that makes it feel like that character is playing. So I would I would have a warrior that's maybe a dwarf, and I would use the blacksmith's dice set, or I would use the archmage's favor with a wizard of some kind, right? The problem was initially when we released this is that we only had 2 or 3 different dice sets. So it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Now we have such a collection of them. I think you could see something like that soon. It's definitely something that we've got on our radar. And not only do you want it, but I want it too. And I would also say too that maybe not just per character, but also maybe even for each ability. So for example, when I cast a fireball, I want to use maybe a fireball dice set, which we don't have yet, or something else along those lines.
Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with when I play in real life, just having dice sets for specific things. Like, oh, this attack needs 6 d10s, so these are the 6 d10s I use for that spell specifically. So this would be very amazing for me. We also have a bunch of people asking. This is going to be from I'm going to use Jen L. Penn. Can the animation of the dice be turned off or hidden, or is that going to be a possibility in the future?
Yeah, it's something that we're looking into. We definitely understand that a lot of people are looking to optimize their play, especially when they're in combat rolling a lot of dice, right? And so even though it's now right on your character sheet, there is still multiple seconds, on average about 7, by the way, from the start of the click to the end of the roll. And then the results pop up. So cutting that time out could be very beneficial. What we've got to do is try to figure out how do we generate that number without actually using physical or the physics in the dice, and that's something that we're currently looking at. It is definitely something that is on our radar, and optimizing play is an important aspect of it. Absolutely.
I love it so much. That kind of covers. We do have other questions, about some feature integration with the dice, but I know that that's kind of a part of I think a bigger team combo. So I feel like we might want to hold on to those for a moment. Amy, do you have any other questions for Andrew?
I think we've covered most of what I wanted to hear about. I would love to just see the new Beyond set one more time now that I can appreciate them being based on actual physics. Can we just see them again? And is there anything that you didn't get to mention about the new set? I love that we should definitely cover. We might have a frozen guest.
We might have lost Andrew, but I will share, just because this just came in and I can answer this question on behalf of Andrew. They're asking about, hey, are there going to be new dice sets for the upcoming books, for the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, Strixhaven, and Curriculum of Chaos? The answer to that is yes. We absolutely love doing pre-order dice sets. So if you want to get some fancy new dice with your books, go ahead and head over to the marketplace to pre-order those now. And once those are ready, you will get them.
And the sparkly dice are here again. Guess what I'm turning on immediately after Deb update today?
I know. Watch out, Icewind Dale, Frostmaiden dice. You have some new competition.
Coming for the crown. Thank
Sorry,
you
I
so
lost you there
much.
for a second.
Yeah, we were just doing final thoughts and questions, and I was going to ask if there were any other secrets of the new set that you could share, now that I have a better appreciation of what they're based on.
Oh, let's see. Internally, we called these "There's No Place Like Home." I can give you that one, because they do kind of remind me of Ruby Red Slippers. I will say, if you do have any other feedback or any questions or anything like that, you can head over to our feedback form, for dice or for anything else, and either vote on features that you believe that we should have, or submit your new ideas. And I read all of that, everything. So, yeah, that's a great place to sort of, if I didn't get to your question today, follow up there.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into dice, Andrew.
Well, thanks for having me. I enjoy being on, so it's exciting.
We have more amazing stuff to come for our anniversary week. Do not forget that if you want those dice, you can go register for free right now at dndbeyond.com. We also have a sale going on all this week. Don't forget that if you have a Master Tier subscription, you can share those books that you might be unlocking right now with your friends. We have giveaways going on all this week. We have brand new dice that you just saw that I'm going to call the Ruby Slipper dice because that's amazing. And I think Andrew just unlocked why the back of my brain was like, go turn those on right now. And we have benefit games going all week long for Jasper's Game Day and Stack Up, two incredible organizations that focus on mental health and suicide prevention that we're so proud to be working with. And today, it's going to be an extremely challenging level 1 adventure run by our own Mellie Doucette with Brian Gray, Jasmine Bullard, Noor Ibrahim, Dale Kingsmill, and Omar Najam. Mellie, I'm so excited for this.
It's going to be so much fun. It's me. I had to add a little flavor to it, a little, whimsical flair, maybe. So it's not going to be a typical meat grinder, and I think it's going to be really, really fun. And you'll be able to donate throughout the show. You can also start donating now and just start telling us what you want us to use it for, and we'll just front load a bunch of it too. At dndbeyond.link/donate. That's going to go towards Jasper's Game Day and Stack Up, two incredible charities that, support mental health awareness and suicide prevention through the power of gaming. So it's super duper amazing charities that we're going to run some, raise some funds for in our meat grinder this evening.
And we have already, I'm delighted to say, smashed through our first goal for the week. So thank you so much to everybody who's been showing up and doing that. And let's break some more. I'm just saying. I believe in you. To unbreak some things, to explain to us how things work, I would like to introduce two more guests to today's Deb Update. Please welcome Senior Product Manager Pat Backmann and Software Engineer Julie Hawkins. How are you doing today?
Hi. So
Happy anniversary!
Hello.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot to celebrate.
Can I impersonate Andrew for a little bit?
Do, please.
Yes. See, oh no,
I had to. Andrew and I are great friends, and it's a constant banter between us in meetings of razzing each other. So I had to get that one out. Sorry.
Great friends and enemies. The best kind of friends.
That has a great "so it is to be war between us" energy that I'm very excited about seeing unfold in the future. But thank you both for joining us today. We want to talk about the thing that I know I signed up for D&D Beyond for in the first place, which is the amazing character sheet. How it works, maybe a look at why it works that way, and what might be coming for it. So first off, the newest thing to arrive on character sheets that people might appreciate very much. It's from what I've heard, many people began appreciating in great numbers right away. Containers. Thank you all so much for containers. Can one of you speak to what we have going on there and maybe where it's going from here?
Yeah, I'll start, Julie, and then I can hand it off to you. How's that sound?
Perfect. Take it away.
Okay, so first of all, the character sheet works in the old military acronym PFM. Okay, so that's pure magic, PFM. And so all of my vets out there will get that joke. But yeah, actually, that's not true. It has a bunch of artificers that worked on it, and Julie's one of those main artificers. And so without further ado, let me hand it back over to her and let her talk about what containers equals, because it actually was a lot of front end work that had to go into containers, so it feels right. And Julie is a front end engineer, so you got it.
That's right. As you said, we've got a team of artificers working away, tinkering with code and whatnot to make this work out. But in the end, what we have is sort of the very beginning of our inventory management revamp, I would say, or sort of like, introducing the very beginnings of shared inventory, which is what's coming down the road and everybody's very excited for. But what we have now are containers that let you, add things to a backpack or a chest or the most important bag of holding, which, everybody has in their party. And usually one person's made to manage that. So now you can actually put things in that bag of holding and rename those things to your heart's delight so that you can sort of customize what your containers are named. And that's sort of the gist of it. We have a lot of things coming down the pipeline as far as adding things like weight and encumbrance to those bags, adding things like gold and those things will also track down to the shared inventory stuff, which is, again, sort of the big thing that we're aiming towards here to allow everybody to have that party management inventory experience. So,
yeah, I think that the big thing that just everybody needs to remember is that this is phase one. You guys wanted to make sure that, hey, we have this in a form that people can start using, can start organizing their inventories. We're going to give it to them, and then we're going to add more to it as we develop it so that, we get some cool stuff to play with in the meantime.
Yeah, I think a big important part of this too was the actions that you need to take in order to move the inventory around, and making sure that the flow for how you get items into those bags feels really seamless and just user-friendly. That way we can use those same types of interactions for the shared interactions that we're looking at implementing later on. So yeah, I mean, it's always these iterative steps that we're hoping to sort of get things out to you all to play with so that we can get the feedback sooner than later and keep kind of tweaking things and making things more and more player friendly. So.
Excellent. Okay, that's our containers, that's our inventory sharing, and then we were hoping that you could take us a little bit through the character sheet as it works and how you can customize it or things we might not know about its setup. I know we've had you do deep dives before, but we're hoping lots of folks, it's everybody's learning things for the first time, which is a way of saying, now tell me, it's my turn, I get to hear.
Yeah, cool. So demo, how do we do that? So I think, okay, Will pulled mine up. Julie, do you want to verbally steer me in this as we go through it?
Sure.
So while you get your thoughts together, I just want to let everybody know that the whole now I'm in our staging environment, so it may act a little bit different. Hopefully not, but yeah, there we go. So here's our inventory management or containers. And the whole piece for this, while Julie collects her thoughts, is to solve these three problems. The first problem is a backpack that has things in it, and I fill it up, and then I become encumbered, and I'm walking into combat, and then I can literally drop my backpack right before combat, and my encumbrance goes to unencumbered, and I fight, and then I pick up my backpack. So that's problem number one that we're going to solve with that. The other one is this. I don't have one on here, but this fellow could have a bag of holding here. And when that bag of holding is in the shared inventory space, that will be located, if I was looking at all, it'll be towards the bottom, and it'll be shared inventory down here. And that bag of holding will go into there. And then we can all just kind of load up in there and take out of there, right? So that's great. And then the other piece is the ballista problem. So let's say I have a container and the container is called a ship. And on the ship, there's 4 ballistas. And the DM says, okay, you're all flying along, and here comes this enemy ship, pulls alongside you, roll for initiative. Well, we all roll for initiative, and then what we can do, because of the shared inventory is going to allow equipping, I'll be able to run up to a ballista number 1, equip it, and my other party members can run up to ballistas number 2, 3, and 4 and equip it, and then now it's on right here. It'll show up on our actions, so now we can fire the ballista at the other big ship for the time of the battle, and then just unequip it when we're done, and it's gifted back to the ship. So that's the big intent behind that. So I think I delayed enough. Julie, what are some of the things that we have on the character sheet that most people don't know about?
Yeah, so there are quite a few things because there's so much you can do on the character sheet, and almost everything is clickable. So there are just so many hidden things here. But first thing, since we were talking about inventory stuff, we could show how to customize the name of an item. This is something we've shown kind of recently because we've highlighted the containers and all the things you can do there. But if you did have a backpack or a chest or really any item at all, there's a customize drop down inside the sidebar that pops up for the detail view of that item, and you can rename and also adjust different things that the properties might allow you to do. In some cases, it's just weight and cost and a description or notes that you can add. And in other cases, you can actually do a little bit more. You can tell some things to display as an attack in your actions area, or you can add a proficiency or something like that as well. So that's sort of a nice to know when you want to have that immersive play and you don't want to just sort of, or you don't want to be stuck with the names that are just generically given to you by you're searching. So
I use this constantly because I love just renaming absolutely everything that I ever receive or get. And also gives you the opportunity with the new containers to be like, aha, this pouch is not a pouch, it is a dress with pockets. And that is what we all need as our adventurers.
So, Mellie, let's flip the script a little bit and let's ask you a question. So what's the one thing you've named something the weirdest? Like, what's the weirdest thing you've named something?
I mean, I don't know if I've gone super weird. My gnome artificer, though, because she just kind of grabs things and keeps them. In one of our very early sessions, like level 2, we found a stained glass golem, and I was like, I'm just gonna take this glass that we broke and put it in my pockets. So I've just always had glass in my pockets. I wrote like 5 shards of glass. I just used like vials, I think, and renamed them stained glass shards. And now I've used them throughout the campaign to do random things with, and also just to always remind people that I have glass in my pockets whenever I'm scrounging around for like nuts and other weird things my gnome carries around with her. And now with containers, I can have those in my pockets, and I just have 5 shards of glass in my pockets, which was very good for our boss fight on the weekend.
Do the shards have damage dice? How do you, when you're browsing around, how are you simulating the danger here?
She has very rough hands. She's a rock gnome. She's fine. She can handle glass. Just if other people reach into her pockets, it's very dangerous for them.
Theft deterrent. I like it.
Deal with some pickpockets.
I can vouch, having run a new Mellie character on Monday, or new to me anyway, it was so much fun to pull up your druid and be like, your spells are what? And then be like, oh wow, that actually tracks and is amazing.
Yeah, I just rename everything. It's great. And especially spells is really nice because you can rename them, and then you can also edit the description, so you can write down, how does my character cast this, which is great for any character you're running, but especially something like an artificer where they cast in a weird way, or if you don't play a character for a long time and you don't remember how you said you cast a spell, you got it in the notes, and super duper handy.
Yeah, the notes definitely are super important for, things like, too, if you have a familiar and you have special things that are, notes about how your familiar actions work or what they look like or how they interact with the party. So almost everything that you can add to the sheet, you can add notes as well, which was really important for us to make sure that it maintained that pen and paper feel that is sort of at the heart of D&D. Because really anything that you can do at the table, we really want to give a way to do that with the digital character sheet and not make it feel like extra work. It should be just as simple as adding those notes to your paper sheet. So.
Love that. So
All
is
right.
there any other, what haven't we had a chance to show off so far?
Well, I want to sneak something in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this.
Need
and
you to make a
click
stealth
this
check.
button. Yeah, I'm going to make this. You want me to make a stealth check? I can make a stealth check. I got a plus 10. Not too bad.
It's enough.
All
It's
right,
enough.
So here comes my short rest, right? So first, let's hurt Plato here. Let's give him 35 points of damage. So it's been a long day for Plato, and he's going to take a short rest. So this is in our staging environment, but what it's going to allow for is for me to be able to select how many hit dice that I want to use in my short rest, and then I can roll them. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then I take my short rest and confirm it. So when I close this window and come back to it for a short rest later on, it's already used up those instances, and then I can add 3 more, right? And it's not counting it as up to 6, right? There's a couple of little use cases in here that aren't worked out completely yet that would cause a little bit of confusion, but we're working on it, and it's getting really, really close. We might just release it as is and let y'all tell us what you don't like about it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. What was the other thing on here that I wanted to show that I discovered? So the team gave this to me.
I actually just...
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to ask because, when you take a long rest, you recover up to half your level in hit dice. So does this cover that as well? Oh, yeah,
That's
there
it.
you go.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see if it works. So let's close this up. Let's take a long rest.
You'll need to spend a few more hit dice because it's gonna...
Yeah, I will, right? Because I need to spend more than 5 because I'm 10th level, right? So back to my short rest. Let's spend 7, roll them. What does that give me? 33. That should be more than enough. Yeah,
And
so I'm good to go.
Delicious.
I'm going to take my short rest. I'm going to confirm it.
Nathan wanted to make sure that I added that to this demo here.
Sorry,
What was that,
what?
Julie?
There will be a way to apply that automatic number to heal you. We just don't have that in there yet, but there will be either a button or a checkbox so that when you hit confirm, it will apply that heals directly to your health there.
All right, so
This
we're going
is
to
so
long
exciting.
So long resting, see what happens, right? We took 6, right? Is that what we did, Millie?
7. We did 7, so we should have
7. So there should be 2 left then, right?
Still spent when we're done, yeah.
Oh, what? There it is. So that's a really neat quality of life thing, right? So that's coming down the pipe. It'll make your life a little bit easier when it comes to short resting and then remembering to do the things that I always forget to do myself. So, yeah. Will, if you would, that's it for what my demo is. And I think Julie has a demo that she showed before that we'd like to show off also.
Yes,
so I'm gonna hand
I think we
it back
showed
over
off
to
some
her.
screenshots of this before, but I'm excited to kind of see it in motion.
Yeah, so let me head over to that side. All right, so yeah, we showed some screenshots of this before, but we've got a little bit more work done on it. It's not quite ready to release, but what we've got here is my tried and true favorite dev character, Chester McTester. There's a little button here where there used to be a cog that's called manage. This is something we've been working with one of our designers on. And so here we can click open to our face menu that many people are familiar with. there's some differences here in this menu. You have some dividers that sort of help to divide up what you should expect out of these links here. And then here, which this button is looking pretty plain now, but we're going to make this nice and pretty and easy to spot. It says change sheet appearance. So you all have seen some screenshots if you tuned into one of the last dev updates, but we are aiming to sort of offer the decorations all in one nice view so you can see everything together. And then here we can click on say portrait, and it is going to automatically open up the portraits section. So let's click Chester McTester. It will look like this now. There's a little bit of a new currently selected view that I see here. Let's give Chester a different theme color. We'll go with we'll do the Underdark purple. Let's do a different frame. My favorite, animated many eyes. I love that one. We'll do a backdrop. So each time I click these things, they automatically close the other drop downs and open the one I've clicked on. And I can, of course, come in here and just select what I need to from these drop downs as well. But let's go ahead and give Chester, let's actually do something more colorful. Let's just go crazy and go with this one. All right, so we've got Chester all decked out with new themes and new frames. This pane will probably offer an option for any visual related preferences. So we could toggle on or off dark mode, but I'm gonna leave dark mode. So yeah, that's pretty much sums up this feature of, grouping all the decorations together. The last thing I wanted to show though, and one of the better things that I think this update could offer is Chester McTester. I decided probably should have a different name. So instead of going back to the builder, let's just click right in here and let's just call him if I can spell, Dexter McTester. Cool. So adding the ability to change the name right in the view where you would want to.
Oh my gosh.
That's the worst name
Julie,
ever, Julie.
It's the best name ever. Pat,
It's
you
great.
know nothing. You know many things, but not this. I literally, whenever I build characters, I always do name last, and I always forget to set a name before I come back. It's like I leave the builder because I'm like, I'm done, and then I get to the sheet, and I'm like, oh no, it says Mellie DM's character. And then I gotta go back into the builder and change it. So this is like, it seems like such a small thing. I think probably a lot of people are like, well, what's the big, and it's like, for me, this is life-changing.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I have been wanting to change that so that you can add that name there for years at this point. And finally, while I was in there working on the decorations, I was like, now's a better time than ever. We're doing this. We're going to make this happen. So.
I love that these changes look very, very exciting. They're going to make things a lot easier for me. I do appreciate that in honor of our birthday, we made y'all work really hard to improve our ability to take a break. Seems unfair that you all have to nose to the grindstone to get us the ability to pause for a moment and take a short rest. But both of these things look so exciting, y'all. Mellie, do we have some good questions to throw at folks?
Yeah, we got some questions we can go ahead and throw out here. We got some questions on some decorative stuff, so let's do a little bit of that. D. Koffler asks, any chance that there will be at some point an ability to move the backdrop so that we can see the actual art depending on the size of our screens?
Yeah, this has been something that's been requested, not necessarily this particular ask here, but just some way that we can see the art better on a character sheet. So we don't have, a solid solution for this just yet, but because the decorations piece for us is becoming a more and more important thing. And obviously you want your character sheet to look pretty, so it's very important. So yeah, this type of thing, how do we just see our art in a bigger view or just more optimal view for the size of the desktop? Definitely in discussion. So, keep your eyes out for more opportunities to be able to see the art visualized in some way or another.
I think in one way as well, like we see with the dark mode, the Underdark mode rather, which just came out, like a month or so ago at this point, and that's kind of slightly translucent. Is that something that we're hoping to make an option for our white background sheet, of that being slightly translucent?
Yeah, actually, that's another huge, two of the bigger pieces of feedback on the dark mode were either that they loved the transparency or hated the transparency. And, as always, there's going to be two groups of people in many opinion lands, right? So, but we see the value in just giving the option, right? Because you get to see a lot more of the background if you have the transparency, and if you need to remove the transparency, even for readability reasons or whatever the reason may be, we want you to be able to do that. So I didn't show it in the mock, but we're hoping to get either a toggle or a slider or a preference of some type so that you can change the transparency in light and dark mode.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So good. We also have, since we're on the Underdark topic, Moses Karada asks, is there any possibility of Underdark mode extending to more areas of the website, such as reading through digital books, in the encounter builder, combat tracker, these different areas of the website that are all light mode at the moment?
Yeah, so the answer to that, short answer is yes. The teams all work on different portions of the website. So, and we're all experts, or the artificers are experts in their environment, right? So it's best for the characters team to do character sheet Underdark mode, and it would be best for, I think it's what we call the seekers team, to do the compendium dark mode stuff. And it'll be best for the adventures team to do dark mode for the DM's tools, because they're really familiar with those environments. And all of this is guided by, I don't think they're called artificers. I don't know what we would call our designers. Mages, maybe?
Look, it's all different subclasses of artificers.
Oh, maybe that's true. That's probably true. So there is a head designer that's behind all of this to make sure that it all feels the same, looks the same, smells the same, and tastes the same.
Please submit names for the design subclass of artificer in the chat. I just want to know.
Well,
the first thing that just came up was just art in all caps and then Ificer. So, it works.
Yes.
I think my boss had determined that it's artificers are the engineers and the bards are the product folks, because all we do is sing songs and tell lies. And then the artificers actually do work.
Oh, no.
It doesn't work if you admit you're making a deception check.
Oh, crap. Do I need to roll
honest
for that?
word.
Thank you so much for joining us today, both of you, for those wonderful looks at what's coming for the character sheet and what secrets it already holds. I have had a blast learning this stuff. Thank you so much for sending in questions. And we will have one more dev update this week on Friday, where we're going to do some community spotlight stuff. But in the meantime, I hope you will all come back here at 2 o'clock Pacific today to see Mellie run that incredible game for the squishiest heroes. Thank you so much.
See you then, y'all.
It's D&D.